take a ride into the crib where the future is alive. We're talking about the Web3 revolution, energy systems and a deep evolution, yeah. It's a digital symphony, a decentralized energy in the world of connection. Oh, Soft is our destination. Web3 fascination. Get ready for the revolution. Here we go.
Welcome to Source Talk, where the future of energy unfolds yet again. Source Talk is the podcast where we focus on Web3, deep in, sourceful, and everything related. Joachim, that's true, right?
That is true.
Good. So another week has passed. We started off last week with just more or less a tech test to see that everything worked out. And now we're back with probably a bit lengthier episode today. I mean, we need to find a format, I guess, for those podcasts. Do we have a plan for this, Joachim?
Yeah, we pretty much profile this as unrehearsed, unprepared, and pretty much unprepared, and that is true mainly. But for this episode, I've created a little bit of a cheat sheet because we actually have a few topics to discuss today. So first up, we're going to announce some news. We're going to announce some upcoming events, and then the main topic of this podcast, we're going to get a history lesson from you, Johan.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really anxious about this myself because I mean, I've known about Srcful for quite a while, but I just recently joined, so I haven't really gotten the full story yet. So I'm really stoked for that. But first up, past week's news. It's actually been quite the eventful week for Srcful. So first up is that our super developers have released a new energy gateway firmware, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's mainly focusing on stability. So we urge our beta testers to download and flash the firmware. I mean, from what I've seen, it's been quite the success, but we can only do so much from our end. So having our beta testers testing it out and giving us feedback is actually worth more than gold to us. So any feedback you can give us, we are really appreciative of. We'll also have another launch this week. I believe it was launched last Sunday, and that's our new redesigned configurator. And the configurator is mainly for onboarding, pretty much setting up your gateway, and as the name suggests, for configuring said gateway. So if you don't have a gateway already, you can still check it out. I mean, you can check out our new design language and things like that. We're going to drop the link in the description.
And that is something, Joachim, that we will probably focus a lot of attention on in the coming months now, just the onboarding process, because it's actually really hard. And I've tried to during the weeks I've tried to onboard other projects, and they have done a super good job with the onboarding process. But still, there is always edge cases, stuff that doesn't work. You need to contact the support, and so trying to make that as frictionless as possible is something that we really need to devote our attention to now in the beginning, before we have other gateways up coming.
Yeah, I mean, having a stream of 100 gateways coming in at once might cause some issues. So yeah, but we're really focusing on that. Speaking of design, by the way, we're trying to pretty much conclude and solidify Srcful's design. And the springboard for that is obviously the new configurator. So stay tuned for the upcoming web, because we know that our current web isn't as descriptive as it could be.
Nope. Yep.
But we're working really hard on that.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Nice.
Also, the past week, we have booked tickets to two pretty major tech events coming up. And one of them actually is within a few weeks, actually. It's in February. 22nd to 23rd of February, we will attend Tech Arena at Strawberry Arena in Stockholm.
And we
So
laugh because if you're not from Sweden, you don't know, but there has been a lot of controversy against surrounding the name change of this arena, where it was called Friends Arena before, and now it's called Strawberry Arena. And the team playing there are. It's a lot of discussions about the name, but it will be on Strawberry Arena anyway in Stockholm.
Yeah, it's going to take a few generations to get that name change to stick, I believe.
Yeah, probably.
But second tech event coming up, we will probably and hopefully attend more events than this, but these are the ones that we booked tickets to the past week that are planned for this year. And the other upcoming event might be one of the highlights for this Srcful team.
Yeah, probably.
And I'll actually give the word to you on this one.
Yeah, so in September, as you many probably know, at least if you are into the Web3 space, Solana Breakpoint is happening in Singapore, the 19th to the 21st of September, and preceding that is also Token 2049. So we will be attending both Token 2049 and Solana Breakpoint in September. So give us a shout out if you are attending Singapore, and maybe we could hook up in some way. And actually, we will be not just a couple of people going to Solana Breakpoint. All 6 founders will go. So we will be hopefully seen at Breakpoint. And if you want to do something like a side event in the DeepIn area or energy area, please contact us, and we can try to do something together, because we did that in Amsterdam was it like November something, Breakpoint Amsterdam, and it was a real success. So we will try to get into some of the side events as well from Srcful side.
So 6 Srcful hungry people spreading the world of Srcful in Singapore.
Yeah, that's true.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And also, if you're into Formula One, obviously someone at Solana is the Solana Breakpoint coincides with Singapore GP. So if you want to come down, watch some Formula One and attend Solana Breakpoint, come down to Singapore.
Yeah, that would be super fun. I haven't been to Singapore either, so it would be a pretty, hopefully nice experience. Wet experience probably, since it's raining a lot. But
yeah, you got to bring your raincoat.
Yeah, we are used to that, being from Sweden. So yeah. And actually,
exactly.
we haven't spoken a lot about in the last episode where we're from and stuff like that. But of course, we are based. The whole team is based in Sweden, actually, and spread out a bit. You and me, we are kind of like, what is it, 500 kilometers or something from each other. So we are a bit spread out, but mainly from the south and east of Sweden. And I didn't mention that before either, but we're trying out this format with a podcast, and as of right now, the podcast is being distributed through YouTube, and actually their new podcasting feature that they have launched. So we are trying that out with a video podcast on YouTube. We are also doing it so with a video podcast on Spotify. So if you have Spotify, you can go in and subscribe and everything there. And we have also gotten it up as a regular podcast on pretty much every platform. So you can find us as a regular platform and a regular podcast. And we will try to do our best. I mean, sometimes we will show stuff in picture and make use that we actually can share screen and things like that. But we will always try to explain what we are looking at. So you should be able to enjoy this podcast always with only audio. That's the plan, anyways. Yeah. Anything else?
But speaking of events, if you've heard if one of our listeners is attending, please come up and discuss pretty much anything. I mean, we never grow tired of talking about Srcful, but we're all nerds as well, so anything tech goes. I mean, it would be really fun to meet with the lot of you.
Yeah. And there are actually more events coming. We know of, I think, 3 more events we will attend, but it's not confirmed yet, so we will wait until we're really sure. But Tech Arena will be exciting, and it will be you, Joachim, and our CEO, Frederick, that will attend that one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So really looking forward to that. So main topic of this episode,
Hmm.
a history lesson on Srcful. And I've actually prepared a few questions for you in my little cheat sheet here.
Yeah.
But I'm actually going to give the word to you. Go
Okay.
from wherever, and I'm going to
Yeah.
catch up.
Perfect, thank you. So yeah, so Srcful as a company is pretty young. We have been around since, I think we registered the company like in 2022. However, we should go back a bit before that. So I'm working at the local university here in Kalmar. It's called Linnaeus University, and we actually got a new employee called Frederick who joined us. I think it was like in just pre-pandemic, somewhere 2019 or something like that. And he was actually into the maritime academy, into boats and ships and things, but he did a lot of like artificial intelligence in that space, and a lot of programming, and he was a pretty techie guy. So we kind of got to know each other pretty well, pretty quick. Then Frederick moved to Vancouver for they have a maritime academy as well. So he moved there and did some work for them. And he discovered something there that was like up and rising. He has always had a fascination for IoT, Internet of Things, and there was something called Helium, like a network spreading in the west coast of the US at the time, and he kind of catched on to that, and then the pandemic came, and he had actually to move the whole family and himself back to Sweden, because was no point of sitting at home in a apartment in Vancouver when you couldn't do anything. So they moved home, and we started discussing, and he said, "Yeah, you should really look into this Helium stuff. It's really amazing, and what they are doing is really cool." And he knew that I've been into cryptocurrencies and crypto projects for a long time. So basically, he pitched the idea, and he said, maybe we should why not start a company? Just like we order a couple of gateways and we start a company, and then we try to just like mine using the Helium network. And it's because on the university we are working a lot with IoT. You, Joachim, you have actually been involved in that as well, since we have a summer course that is pretty popular in Sweden and Europe in the IoT field. So it's like goes hand in hand that we want to build a good coverage for LoRaWAN networks in the region, because that will benefit the students being on campus, of course. But we also saw the power of Helium spreading over Europe, and being able to utilize Helium in that summer course as well. So that's why we got into Helium mining, basically. So we placed an order. I think it's like, was it 15, 20 Cal Shiprock? No, it wasn't. It was probably just 10 Cal Shiprock version 2 Helium miners. There was a big waiting list. It was crazy. Well, this was probably early 2021, if I remember, something like that, in like January. So we ordered them, and then they came in early spring or late spring, maybe. So then it was like doing the hard work with those gateways, getting them out there, getting into partnerships with energy companies. We actually got into a local energy company and got agreements with them to place the gateways on strategic places. So if you're into the video stream, you can actually watch a picture of Frederick in a yellow construction hat with a harness on, safety harness on, being like, what is it, 50 meters? What's that in feet? Like 150 feet? Something like that, 160 maybe, up in the air. So a big chimney for a remote heating facility. So we placed a hotspot up there. The antennas, drawing cables, doing all of those stuff. This particular miner that we placed here in the summer of 2021 is actually up and running still. We haven't done anything with it. It's just like stable, it's working, it's providing network coverage for more or less all of Kalmar, actually, since it's so high up. And yeah, what is special about this one is that we got a really cool experience when we noticed how far this can reach, actually. I have a picture here because Kalmar is located at the Baltic Sea in the east of Sweden, and when we looked into the data, we could see that this particular gateway actually communicated with Klaipėda in Lithuania. It's on the other side of the Baltic Sea, and it's like 320 kilometers away, or 200 miles. So it's pretty far. And it actually, we had in the summer course, I think actually we had a professor in that we discussed this topic with Marco I think he's from Italy somewhere, and he said that in theory this should be impossible because the curvature of the Earth is too big to make the signal, to make it a clear line in any way. However, when it's summer, a phenomenon called ducking, I think, is occurring, so that the signal can bounce on open water and the moisture cloud in the air. So the signal bounces through over the Baltic Sea and all the way to Lithuania. It was really, really cool. And when we worked with like the Helium network and building this, we got a lot of contacts both in Helium and outside of Helium with companies doing the same thing, basically. But what we saw was this enormous network effect that, like, you get people doing crazy stuff, like going up to a chimney 150 feet up in the air, installing antennas, and the community was like just doing anything to get those gateways out there. And now, of course, we have, I haven't checked the numbers in a long time, but I guess that if you count the number of Helium hotspots, is probably close to, I don't know, 1 million or something. Maybe not, but it's pretty impressive, at least with the coverage that they have gotten. So there was an incentive for the users, the participants in this network to do this. And of course, I mean, if you talk to any deepin project today, they have probably all been inspired in some way or another from the Helium project. So have we. But when we did this, it was me and Frederick, and along the way we as you do, you cross ways with interesting people. So both or two more people joined this business and helped us and did a lot of work around this. One of them has good connections in the energy business and know the energy business really, really well. And he I think if we should get credit to someone, it's probably him, because he saw this potential in the Helium network spreading, and also saw all the problems that there is with a big centralized power grid that we basically have today. So he started thinking and talking to us, could we do something about this? And that is basically where the Srcful idea was being born. That we saw that we need to take this centralized grid system and try to decentralize it. And why is that? Well, because that is happening already now. So if we go back 20 years in time, and now I'm talking with my Swedish glasses on, because that is the energy market that I'm most familiar with, but I guess it's kind of the same, even though the power what do you say, the resources that you generate the electricity from differs from country to country. But in Sweden back then, it was a lot of nuclear power combined with water power, water plants, and that has shifted a lot those last years, going into wind mainly. So today I actually think that wind power is the main production in Sweden. That was not how it was a few years ago. And also solar, of course, coming even more. And this is putting a lot of tension to the power grid to be able to balance all those new, smaller, decentralized resources. Because, I mean, every household could have a solar plant on the roof and sell energy, and that makes it stressful for the energy system. So we started thinking, well, what if we could like just connect all of those the homeowners' solar PVs, connect them into a network like Helium, and what could that make us? So we started thinking about that. And in Sweden, it's a big thing now is just to have balance in the grid. So in Sweden and Europe, we have 50 hertz. So we always need to have 50 hertz of frequency in the power grid. And this could vary. It could go up and it could go down, but it can't vary that much. And if we're looking at just last days, I think it was 2 days ago, there was a problem with balancing the grid, since it's a big storm that has passed through Norway and Sweden. So it's pretty windy outside. Actually, you can, if you hear some noises sometimes, it's probably because of the wind right now, and that made the wind productions go really high, and that put a lot of tension on the grid. Because if you always in the power grid, you always need to consume as much as you produce. That's like what you at every single moment, the production and the demand must match. But if it doesn't match, what happens? Well, the frequency there will be a congestion in the grid, so the frequency will build, and that was happened just a couple of days ago. So we got a spike in the frequency. It went up to 50.24 hertz, and that's okay. It's okay to be at these levels for shorter periods of times. But if this continues to happen, I mean, if we don't do anything about it, the frequency will rise, and after a while, the power grid needs to be shut down in a controlled way, because otherwise things will break. And of course, the big power companies are looking into this. They're okay, so they see that the frequency is going up, they know that the wind will blow, so they try to lower the effect on nuclear plants, or they stop the water plants and things like that. But I mean, we still have all of those solar resources that are not controllable. There is no one that is able to control those facilities, and there is the power companies don't know how much they produce. So what we want to do is connect those PVs and be able to, in the long run, control them as well, and take part of the markets that is called the demand response market, basically. So there is another market separated from the energy market that helps stabilize the grid. So that was what we discussed. How can we help stabilizing the grid? And from that, Srcful was born, basically. And yeah, so the connection to Helium, because that was where I was. So we saw that in Helium, a lot of, I mean, they had the same problem that we, basically. So to be able to control and be participating in those markets, we need a lot of solar PVs to be connected to our network. But what is the incentive for homeowners to connect their solar PVs to us? Well, the same problem Helium had. So why should a homeowner place a gateway in their house to be able to communicate with IoT sensors? Well, maybe if you get a little bit of a reward. So if you get a token, you might actually be able to spread this word. So that's basically what we are doing as well. So installing this and proving that you have renewable energy and that you are producing renewable energy, because we will only connect renewable resources. But that will be what we, as of right now, call proof of source. I'm not. I mean, that is kind of proof of coverage in the Helium network, so we call it proof of source. So that is basically saying that, okay, we can prove that you are producing energy, then you will get a payout of or a reward in this Srcful token. So that's where we are right now. We have tried that with our beta testers that has gotten rewards for not just producing actually in this phase, because it could be equally as important for us with a PV gateway that is not working, because then we get interesting data from that. So we are not at this moment having rewards connected to the production side, but that's the plan going forward in our tokenomics that we will probably get into later. But yeah, that is basically the story. During those last years, we know that we were starting off, and we knew that, okay, we will not be able to pull this this burden on ourselves. So 2 more founders joined pretty early on the hardware side, connecting PVs and configuring inverters and things like that, and also a experienced developer from actually a game developer in the beginning, but he has been working with software development for a long time as well. So 20 plus years. So as of now, right now, we're 6 founders, and then Joachim, you joined, and then Jacob joined as well as employees on the payroll, and now we also have other members joining the team in different constellations. So I would say that we are, what can we say? We are around, it's hard to tell exactly, but around 13, 14 people working on a daily basis, more or less, with Srcful as of right now. However, we're still having our daytime jobs. Joachim, you are studying to be is it pen testing or is it a developer? Yeah, pen testing.
Pen testing.
So we are in a transition phase right now, trying to do as much as possible with Srcful while maintaining our daytime jobs, because they are important as well. So that's the brief history. We will probably go into more detail in the years to come, but as of right now, it's how it is.
Thank you for that insightful history lesson. I actually learned a bit about Srcful myself during that, so much appreciative. But the thing is, I mean, we've had actually a few breakthroughs over the years. You said 2022 and forward.
Yeah. And Srcful, I mean, it has been discussed in the Discord. So the Srcful as a name, it could be pretty hard, because I mean, if I say Srcful, you probably can kind of get the words together. That source, okay, source, it's like has something to do with a source of energy and things like that. And source, to be sourceful, to be like, I don't know, protective of your energy or your sources. So and that was actually a name that has been in one of our team members' plans for a long time, not for this project, but for other things. But then we decided to go with the Srcful. So SRC for source code, like the source folder. So for a developer looking at Srcful, it's probably pretty straightforward to say Srcful, but for someone that is not a developer, it could be like a really strange, like Srcful. So we have heard, and in Sweden, FUL is ful.
Ugly.
Ugly. Yeah, so it's source ugly. So we have had encounters with Swedish people saying that, oh, are you the SRC ugly? Oh, then I know the company. Oh no, it's not fool, it's full. It's like English. So yeah, so we will see. Maybe we discussed maybe doing something like Srcful energy or something like that, just to get the energy part in there. And but we are still early, so nothing is settled yet.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing is set in stone, but it's under review.
Yeah. We but thank you for I don't remember who it was, but thank you for the pointing it out. It's we really appreciate. I mean, don't be afraid of speaking up and like criticize things that you think we should like do different, because I mean we are so early. It's a lot easier to steer the ship a bit in another direction now than doing it like 2 years from now. So
Yeah.
the more we learn from you now, the better. So and I mean that is what we tell our beta testers as well. Just try to give us feedback on everything, because it's hard. It's hard to distribute hardware. It's hard to distribute software. Everything is hard. But that is what makes it so interesting as well. Speaking about the Discord, Joachim, maybe we should like if you're listening to this and are not part of the community, please join us in the community. You will find links in like everywhere.
Yeah. And also, speaking of like tokenomics and things like that during the history of Srcful, we're going to drop our documentation in the description as well. So you can read more about that proof of source and what it means and our tokenomics and things like that.
Yeah, and we will be really clear that the tokenomics and everything is up for like revisions and things like that in this stage, because we are super early. So as you said, Joachim, nothing is set in stone yet. So just beware of that. Okay. Anything else you would like to know now when you have the chance of discussing history?
Not really, actually. I think this is a great time to wrap up this episode, actually, because we're going to go into more depth further on. But this, I mean, 30 minutes of Srcful history. What more can you want?
Yeah, exactly. And I hope as well it will be really exciting to listen into this podcast now for us as well, because we have upgraded our hardware. So hopefully we have bought new microphones. Hopefully we will have kind of a more better sound profile now. That's the goal, at least. So and we also made a change. Maybe some of you noticed that we changed the YouTube channel, because that channel was actually it wasn't a what's it called, commercial account stuff on YouTube. So it was the wrong type of an account, basically. So we tried to fix that as early as possible, making it more streamlined. So as of right now, it's Srcful official, but we will try to get the old account name back. But it's blocked with other accounts, so we have renamed that, and there are probably some periods to wait as well. So
the links are updated, so you're going to find the podcast on for YouTube on this link that's provided.
Yeah. So remember, try to Twitter or X do a subscription there. We release new things there all the time. Also, please join our Discord, and remember, your energy is your power.
Step into the neon lights. Let's take a ride into the gray where the future is alive. We're talking about the Web3 revolution, energy systems and a deep evolution, yeah. It's a digital symphony, a decentralized energy in the world of connection. Oh, so talk is our destination, Web3 fascination. Get ready for the revolution, here we go.